Hey, I'm Brandon and this is Amanda and we're with Grandma's Wealth Wisdom. Now obviously we are not Grandma, but we love what she shares about her finances and her financial future. What we like to do is follow her time-tested wisdom on managing cash flow and leveraging assets. Today we're going to be talking about this topic that we really think is super amazing. It's the Pareto Principle and combining that with the Profit First model. The Pareto Principle and the Profit First model. We call that P squared.
So if your business is going from sale to sale, like, oh, we better do 10% off because we got this big bill coming up, or holy crap, it's the end of the month, we need to do a flash sale, 50% off because rent's due the first of the month.
I've been there. We've done that.
Yeah. So if that's where your business is, or maybe things are going okay, but you're not really experiencing much, if any, benefit from your business.
I've been there. We've done that.
You're the entrepreneur. Shouldn't you be the one benefiting from your business? And not in some like far off kind of way when you sell or, something like that. But today, like you've put your blood, sweat, and tears into this place. Shouldn't you benefit? And maybe you feel like your business is what Mike Michalowicz calls a cash-eating monster. Seems like there's always something to spend money on. Employees that need to be paid, inventory that needs to be found, rent, city licenses, whatever it is. Your business has literally become a cash-eating monster, in his words. Or maybe you just feel like it's going okay, but it could be going better. This is where what we're going to talk about today can totally transform your business from a cash-eating monster or from just okay to really benefiting you and helping you experience good things that come from your business. And the fact is that if you're ready for a change, change is possible. And it's totally possible. It's not just somewhat possible, it's totally possible. And it might take some sacrifice, it might take some discipline, but in the words of Henry Ford, to kind of paraphrase him, if you believe you can, then you're absolutely right. And if you believe you can't, you're 100% accurate as well. So if you believe that your business can benefit you and benefit you enough to really truly compensate for the time and the effort that you are putting in, then we're gonna help you see how to make that happen. And be sure you listen all the way to, or be sure you watch all the way to the end of this video because we've got some special bonuses, special tips of how you can get 2 really awesome books for free or for super cheap. So be sure you listen all the way to the end to get the scoop.
You ever have those defining moments where you remember exactly where you're at, where you can picture the space, the conversation, and it's just like etched in your memory. Like some things are not, but some things are. Well, we had that experience. We were meeting with our attorney, as business owners do, and we're trying to figure out the next phase in our business. And so we met with him. We felt like we were on top of the world going into the meeting.
Yeah, this was with our former business, with our coffee shop, and we had just had some really great success. We were really prepared to launch and go after the next phase of business.
Yeah, we were like on cloud 9 at that point going in. Then he asked us a huge question.
A little question.
It was a little question.
Huge ramifications, yeah.
He asked us, how much are you paying yourself? Now, to remember, we thought we were doing amazing. We had paid off most of our business debt. We were paying
all of our bills.
All of our bills. Everything was in a good spot. But he asked us, so how much are you paying yourself? And we kind of avoided the conversation. We were like, well, that doesn't matter. That's not the point here. But he said, no, you need to be paying yourself what you're worth.
What you're really worth.
And I came out of that meeting, I remember coming out and saying, man, I feel like a failure. I feel like we did not do what was good for us. And this was like 5 years into the business, and we were a little frustrated. But
Yep.
then afterwards, that was a shift for us thinking in a different way, because we realized we were not taking care of our biggest asset, which we said in the previous video. Your biggest asset is you. We were not taking care of the biggest asset, ourselves.
So that conversation sent us on this trajectory of how do we make this business work for us? Sure, it's working for our customers. Sure, it's working for our employee, our landlord, the city's getting their taxes, all those things. It's working for everybody else. How do we make it work for us? And there's two big ideas that totally transformed us. And they're actually found in 2 books that we want to share with you. The first one is called Pareto's Principle. Now, lots of people know Pareto's Principle. It's the 80-20 rule. 80% of your revenue comes from 20% of your customers. If you can focus on the 20% of your effort that yields the 80% of the results, that's going to totally help you, right? Focus and that kind of thing. But how do you actually do the Pareto's Principle in your business? It's great to know it in theory and have it there, but how do you actually enact it? And that's where we came across this book. You can see we've got dog ears in here, and it's highlighted and underlined, but it's called 80-20 Sales and Marketing by this guy named Perry Marshall. And this breaks down step by step how to implement 80-20 into your business with a focus on sales and marketing, because it's kind of the engine that brings more business into your business. And we totally recommend it. It dramatically helped us transform doing less effort but getting more results in our business, and thereby benefiting more from what we were doing.
Funny story was, we met the guy.
We met Perry
right in the beginning of our journey. We didn't know who he was or anything. We just knew he was a business expert. And I wish we would have picked up that book that he wrote. He didn't give us a book or tell us anything about who he was. We just learned some stuff. And 5 years later, we found out he was kind of a big deal.
A big deal. Yep. So that's Perry. And then the next one we came across was this guy named Mike Michalowicz. Fun name there. And he wrote this book called Profit First. He's got a bunch of other books out there, but this was the first one that we came across. And in here, he flips generally accepted accounting principles on their head. And he says, take your profit first. Rather than profit being whatever's left over after paying all your other expenses, take your profit first. And that was really great. We should benefit from the business. We're going to take our profit first. And he breaks down in here step by step how to make that happen from wherever your starting point is to really living that out. But what is totally transformational is when you take both of these books and you combine them. It's not even like Perry Marshall plus Mike Michalowicz. It's multiplication of the results when you combine these two. Just as an example. So Mike Michalowicz in Profit First talks about how you take your profit, your owner's compensation, and your taxes that you're going to have to pay, and then everything else becomes your operating expenses. Well, then you add 80-20, where you look through your operating expenses and you say, what are the 20% of these expenses that are yielding the 80% of the results? It's almost like you take your chart of accounts from your QuickBooks or whatever, and you look at each line item that's an operating expense there, and you say, how could we cut this down to just 20%? Whoa, that seems like impossible, right? How could you cut your staff down to 20%? How could you cut your rent down to 20%? But maybe as you look at it, you're like, yeah, we could be a little more efficient in this area. Yeah, we could cut this or cut that. Or we could shift and put more here because it's really what's having the biggest effect. It's not all about cutting. It's maybe about shifting and really honing in on what's impacting your business the most and making sure your money is going there. And Perry really breaks down how to make those kind of decisions. They can be pretty tough decisions depending where you're at in business. But then going forward too, as your business grows, you can continue to 80-20, continue to make improvements. Even if it's a 1% improvement, that can make a really big difference over the long term. And Perry really breaks that down and helps you feel motivated and ready to make that happen. So and again, cutting down to 20% is really drastic, not for everybody, but what if you could cut 10% or something like that?
Yeah, you start where you're at and you start building more and more and thinking again, how do we grow that? How do we put our attention to the things that are yielding the most results.
Right. And that takes a lot of focus and determination. And it's just that sort of focus and determination that's needed by entrepreneurs and business owners today. In fact, Perry in his book talks about how we don't even really live in an 80-20 world anymore. We live in a 95-5 world where it's hyper-focused, hyper-determination, hyper, honing in on what's really working that really sets apart the top 5% of business owners and entrepreneurs from the rest of the pack. And so that's just another insight from his book that can be really helpful to help you stay focused and determined and making sure that you're doing what you need to make your business a success for you.
Now, we're going to tell you about the bonus that we promised. Though we are not affiliates with Perry Marshall or Mike Michalowicz. If you guys are listening and you do get clients through this because of us, hey, Perry, hey, Mike, you can go ahead and send us a referral check if you want. But we are not...
we don't work for them.
We don't work for them. We are not making a dime off of this. So what you can do, if you go to perrymarshall.com, you can get this book with a penny plus shipping. So you get the book free for a penny plus shipping just by going.
That's not free.
Or almost free. You have to pay for shipping.
And a penny.
And a penny.
Yeah.
So go to Perry Marshall to get that book.
.com. Yep.
.com. And then if you want this Profit First book, I found, and I did this for Amanda. Actually, for Christmas, I listened to the Audible version, and I knew Amanda liked paper. And I heard that you could get the book for free by listening to their podcast. So I listened to the podcast. They have some ways to get the book for free, and I got her a Christmas present absolutely free.
This copy free.
So if you go to their podcast, Entrepreneurship Elevated, and listen probably the older episodes, you can follow their directions and get this free book with shipping, I think, included.
Yeah.
So that's how to get that book. And that was a great Christmas present for you.
It was.
We're doing a video about it.
Yeah,
so,
and it's transformed our business. And sorry in advance, Mike and Perry, that we're giving away your secret of how to get your book for free or cheap. And then our offer to you, the listener, is that if you read these books, you start implementing, we'd love to talk to you. Maybe do a book study of sorts, or as you're implementing, if you hit a road bump, you're like, but what about this? Or, something like that. We'd love to just talk to you. 15 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever would be helpful. Because we've been working with these books for years now, and we've got lots of experience with it. Or if we don't know, we have some back channels that we could find out for you if we're not sure. So be sure you get those books, hit us up if you want to chat about them. But the main thing to do right now is to subscribe to our channel and to check out the links in the description where you can find some more information specific for entrepreneurs and business owners and making sure you benefit from your business. Remember, you are your greatest asset, and you want to make sure that you are taking care of yourself. Thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you again soon, I hope. And we really enjoy helping you on your unique journey toward a smart, stable financial future. So hit that subscribe button, and we'll talk with you again soon.